if you have this much food for the whole day, how do you eat? How do you divide these for 2 or 3 meals? How do you feed your child with this food? You may wonder why I'm asking you this question. Because there is a story behind it. Now wait a minute and you will hear this story. Can you imagine people live on this amount of food for the whole day? And even worse, that amount of food is worth about $1.90. And do you know that many people in the world, they live on $1.90 for the whole day, is not only for food, but also for all other expenses. Over 3 billion, with B, 3 billion, the half of our population in the world live in poverty. It's not shame for us, for everyone, for politicians, for government, that we have half our population, half of our brothers and sisters to live in poverty. And even worse, 1.3 billion of them live in extreme poverty. And by definition from World Bank, extreme poverty is to live on less than $1.90 a day. And I told you this is not only for food. I showed you this food so you can imagine how much money is that. But if someone live on less than $1.90 a day for the whole thing, for the whole expenses, how do you feel? Do you think those people think the world is a good place to live? If that was you, how would you feel? And if your child, your children, live like this, how do you feel? Do you know over 1 billion children in the world live in extreme poverty? Do you feel it's time for us, for all of us, to get together and do something really practical? Not just stick with the statistic and studies from World Bank and other organizations and wait for politicians and government to do something about this? We are people. We have the power. Let's get together. Let's do something practical. And this problem is not only the world problem, but it exists here in the United States also. 14.3% of our population, which is 43.1 million of our people, live in poverty. Shame on us. Shame on our politicians, our government, our organizations. Shame on all of us. Why? Why we do not do anything about this? Let's get together. Do you know, we are people, we have the power. We don't want to wait for organizations, for government, for politicians to do something about it. It's a worldwide problem. Half our population, half of our brothers and sisters live in poverty. Have you been in poverty? Have you been laid off from work? Or have you been in a situation that you have any money in your pocket, or you have barely minimum a few cents or a few dollars in your pocket? How do you feel if you live like that for a day, 2 days, a week, a year, or maybe the whole life? Why I'm telling you about this? Why I'm talking to you about this problem? Now, imagine that if you have this loaf of bread and this bottle of water, which is not full, for not only one person, for 3 people, 2 adults and 1 child. And not only for 1 day, but this is for 3 nights and 3 days. Can you imagine this? You may wonder why I talk about this. This is my true story. This is my life story. When I finished my medical school in Iran, I'm Kurdish, from west of Iran. I'm minority. And in 95, when I graduated from medical school, before starting the residency in neurosurgery, the government forced me to go to work in underprivileged area. And finally, I didn't end up actually to very underprivileged area. I went to south of Iran. It's an island in south of Iran, and it's tax-free zone, and people are rich, and they built clinic with houses for doctors, handed to the government to bring doctors to them. I was there. I was making very good money. Imagine thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars a month income. So I had a good life. But I told you that I'm Kurdish, I'm minority, and at that time, nowadays different, but at that time, Kurdish people, minorities in Iran, they didn't have any right, they didn't have anything. Even now, they don't have that much right, but here and there, maybe they have something. And I was the president of students, and I was defending human rights, women's rights, and minority rights. And I got so many problems because of that. So I got a serious problem with the government. I had to leave. And I had only a few $1,000s at home, and we left. I couldn't get anything out of my assets. We crossed with my wife and my son, 3 years old at that time, the border. We crossed the border to Turkey, and we crossed the border from Turkey to Greece. And we ended up to this area, which is a dead zone between Turkey and Greece. Maybe you can search online and see an article which was published by an author, but the article was from Al Jazeera TV. And you can search for Maritsa River between Turkey and Greece. So somebody with money, we paid $1,000 to cross this river here. It's a big river. To cross here, and our plan was to go to Greece. But we didn't know that we're gonna get stuck between these water. So this river, it branched out here. So there are 2 branches of river, and this side is the sea. We were stuck there. And that night we arrived, we had a loaf of bread and a bottle of water. So we searched around, we couldn't find anyone, there was no help. I yelled, I asked for help, I screamed on top of my voice to get some help, but there was no help. There was no one around. There were some fishermen in the river, but they didn't hear us. They didn't pay attention, they couldn't hear us. And next day, we had to hide in the wood in this area, because on this side there was Greek border patrol, and on this side there were Turkish border patrol. So we had to hide during day, and at night we were just walking around to see if there is any pass, any help, anything that we can get out of there. So in that 3 days, we divided the bread in pieces for our son. We decided not to eat, and we searched for some plants to survive on. We didn't know how many days or how many nights we will stay there. We gave the water to our son, and we drank water from the muddy river. In the 3rd day, my son was sleeping, and he woke up. He was dreaming. I saw him, and he woke up and he said, "Dad, when are we gonna go back home?" I said, "I don't know, but we will." And he said, "Dad, we want to go back home. I want food. I'm hungry. I need food. I want meat." That moment was the darkest moment of my life. There was no food for my son, for 3-year-old, and there was no water. So we decided to surrender ourselves. We said, okay, let's do another search that night, and if you couldn't get help, if you couldn't cross the river to go to Greece, then we're gonna surrender ourselves to Greek border patrol. That night, we went back to close to the river, as close as was possible to the fishermen. And I yelled, I screamed on top of my voice, and I asked for help. And finally, one of them realized, and he noticed that we are on the other side of the river. And I was yelling and asking for help and using my flashlight to give them some sign that we are here. And finally, a fisherman came closest to us, and then he asked, what do we need? And I said, this is the story. We are stuck here. We cannot do anything. There is no help. We haven't been eating for 3 days and 3 nights, and my child is 3 years old. We need help. And he said, okay, I'll be back. I thought, when he came, I thought he's going to take us to the other side of the river, but he said, no, I'll be back. And then he went to the other side of the river. There was a building for fishermen. He got some food and drink. He brought it to us, and he didn't let us to go in his boat to cross the river. So we stayed there. We ate half of the food because we didn't know next day what's gonna happen. So we kept some food for next day. But we decided in the morning when the border patrols come back, we surround ourselves. So in the morning they came back. They took position around the river, and there was a tower that one of the soldiers were climbing there, and I yelled, I screamed, I asked for help, and he couldn't hear me at all until he went all the way up, and then I screamed again on the very top of my voice, and finally he noticed, and then with his binocular looked at us, and I asked for help. I said, we are here, and I showed my 3-year-old son. I grabbed him. I said, we need help. And then he mentioned that, okay, and then they sent a boat. We crossed the river. They took us to the police station there, a local police station. They did investigation, and they asked for money. At that time, I had only $2,300 left, and the officer took $1,300, and he said, this is the fine for crossing the border illegally. And later on, by the way, I found out actually the fine was $300, not $1,300. But we didn't have choice, we didn't have power, we didn't have anything to keep him not to steal our money, but he did. And he said, we're going to send you to Alexandropolis, which was the main city in that area. And he said they're going to send you to UN and maybe to Europe, or maybe even he mentioned maybe Germany. So we were happy. We got some food, and they sent us to Alexandropolis, and right away they put us in jail in a very, very bad condition. And they told us, after investigation, after asking me a lot of questions, and then they told us that we have only half an hour a day. One of us can go out with them to buy food and drink. So that's what we did for 3 days and 3 nights, again staying in jail. And finally the third night they brought a bus and brought all other people from other cells in that jail, or from other police stations in that area, 30-40 people. They put us on the bus and took us back to the border of Turkey. There was a bridge. They guided us, and they said, that's Turkey, you go there. If you come back to Greece, we will shoot you. By the way, this area, thousands of people are dying. since then, and thousands of people every year are dying still in that area. And there is a report I told you, you can search, only 10% of bodies can be recovered from the water, from the river or the sea. That is the situation there. So anyway, we went back to the other side, and we got caught. We walked all night, but during like early morning, we got caught by Turkish border patrol again, and they put us in jail. And we were fortunate, actually. One of them was very helpful. He was Kurdish, and we talked in Kurdish, and he said, don't say you came back from Greece, because otherwise it's the same problem. They're gonna put you back on bus, and they take you back to Greece. So we said we were in Turkey, we were about to cross the border, and we got caught. So after 48 hours, they sent us to Istanbul, and we went back to Ankara, and we went to UN. At that time, we submitted our case, and we got a letter to send us back to the border of Turkey and Iran as a temporary refugee until they tell us if they have accepted us refugee. And I don't know if you have been in poverty, if you have been living in on very minimal amount of money. That was our situation. It was not a refugee camp, so we had to rent an apartment or somewhere, and we had to live on our own until we could be accepted by UN, and we could get a little bit salary, very minimal. So at that time I was working in electronic shop. Unfortunately, my undergrad was in electronic. I was making a little bit money, just barely to live on. And every evening when I went home, my son, my 3-year-old son, closed his eyes when I arrived at the door. He closed his eyes and put his hands in front of him, and he said, "Dad, I want to surprise me." And the surprise was a chocolate or a piece of cake or a cookie or something like that. So every day that was our plan, our routine. And one day, one evening, I was walking home and I found out I didn't have any money. I had only 250 liras, which at that time was totally different now. Turkey changed the numbers on their currency. At that time, that was about 5 cents if we translate it to American currency. And I had to get something. So I went to this small grocery store on my way, and I was very ashamed. I didn't know how to ask to see if there is anything for this amount of money. So I looked around and looked around and looked around, and finally I found a small cookie, and I asked, and it was exactly the same amount of money I had, and I was so happy. It was so great moment for me. I got relief, and I got it, and I went home. So I didn't go home empty-handed with just one cookie in my hand for my son. That's how I lived in refugee life, refugee situation, until we came to United States in October '96. We had a very tough time when we came to United States. I had to start working because the help from government was very, very minimal, and I had to work without being able to speak because I couldn't speak English. So I started working in a restaurant as a cashier. So during those moments that happened in my life, and when I came to the United States, it became my dream to do a worldwide movement someday. I didn't know when, but I decided I will do it to eradicate the poverty. By the way, poverty, you cannot eradicate it except if you change the culture of poverty. Why? Because those 3 million people are not in poverty just because they lost their job or something happened. Some of them do. Some of them, they are in poverty because a war happened or something happened in their life, and that's why they are in poverty. But most of them, the majority of this population in the world, they don't have this kind of story. They have different stories. And the majority of them, they live in poverty because of the culture of the poverty. So that's why I wanted to start a worldwide movement, a global movement to change the culture of poverty. And that's why today I talk to you about this. I've been helping some here and there for some schools and education system, and for giving food or sending money or donating some money to people. This is a school in Africa. This is not my picture. This is online. I just Googled it and I got this picture. Many thanks to the person who made this available on online. I've been helping some people here and there, including this orphanage in Nepal. If you go to my Facebook, you see this picture and other pictures. And there is a wonderful, wonderful family in Nepal. An engineer and his wife and his family built this orphanage, and they're helping these orphan people there. So sometimes I help a little bit of money, and in my live event, I put their website on one of my slides and ask people to help. But this is not exactly what I want to do. The program that I want your help on, this program, is We Rise as One. Because we are one in the world. There is one power in the world, and we are part of that. We have one universe. We have one planet called Earth, and we live on this planet together. So let's use our power as one. Let's get together and make this dream happen. This is not for me, and this is not even for you. This is for everyone in the world, especially those people who live in poverty. But if we change their culture, if we change their life, if we teach them how to live a good life, if we help them, then they don't live in poverty anymore. And that will be helpful to everyone on this planet. So let's make it happen together. Now let me tell you a little bit about this program. This program is not a regular charity program, because I don't believe in that. I deeply believe to help people and educate people to live with dignity, to teach them how to earn money and how to make their economy. I don't believe in just give money or food to someone and wish the world will be better, because you have not changed the culture. You have not changed something in their life. Like the old proverb, they say, if you give a fish to someone, you feed him for one day. But if you teach him how to fish, you feed him for the entire life. And this is true. This is this program about. We Rise as One is a program which is it is not a non-profit organization. This is a philanthropic program with profit. And this helps both donee and donor to get the benefit, to get closer to each other, to help each other. So this program is not only giving food and money to people and leave them alone. The program is based on feed, heal, and educate. What do I mean by that? We go to those communities, we feed them, and we heal them because they are sick mentally and physically. So we heal them, and then we educate them how to live a good life with dignity, how to acquire some skills, to go to do a job, to start a business, to do something. And then they will learn how to live a good life with dignity, how to earn money, how to make their economy. And then we get them in the program to help us to not only spread the word, but also spread the action, the program. And I'm pretty sure with this program and with your help, we can go global very quick and we can grow exponentially. There are many ways to help. So if you wonder how you can help, you can go to the website WeRiseAsOne.org. Remember, it's not .com, it's .org. WeRiseAsOne.org. Go there and click on the membership, or if you want to donate money, you can click on donation. There are a lot of information there, and this website is pretty new, so it's not the whole thing, and we will improving it. We need volunteers to help us for web designing, web development, app development, and many other things. So you can be a member of this program, and by membership, actually, by being a member, you can help people in poverty, and then that will help you to grow your business. How does it work? This is global, this is worldwide. So not only the local people in your area, in your town, in your city, see your business on the website, but also your business can be seen nationally and internationally. So this will help you to grow your business. And when you grow your business, you will help us more and more by your membership, by donation, by volunteering your time or whatever you can or however you can to help us to make this dream happen. So we will have different kind of membership, and in the future we will have quarterly and later on monthly newsletter, paper newsletter, that it goes local to your area, and we will have that on our website. And naturally people like to do business with those people who help others, with kind people, with nice people, wonderful people like you, that you want to be a member. And they can see your business, they can see your name, because we will have all names with points for those people who donate money, with those people who donate their time and volunteer to help us, and for the members. And we will have different levels of membership. So that's how this program works. If you donate money, it's not going to be tax exempt for two reasons. First of all, if you want to only donate money just because you want to cover your tax, we don't accept that. We accept the donation that is from your heart. This is something you really, really want to help the community. This is something you really want to help those people in poverty. That's a true donation. And then we believe tax is good for public. So that's why this program is not a non-profit organization, and it's not a regular charity. I don't like the word charity, because when we talk about charity, in the mind of Donnie and the donor, it comes on the screen of their mind that some people give some food or money or clothes or something to some other people, and that's it. But this is not about that. This is about changing the world. This is a worldwide movement, and it's not from me. It happens through me. It's from the universe. It's from the power of those 3 billion people who live in poverty. And this is not about me, this is not about you, this is about the whole universe. This is about our planet Earth. This is about our population, the whole population of the world. And that's why we have to get together and do something, because half of our population live in poverty, and this is not acceptable. This planet has a lot of resources, but is not distributed to the way it should. But we can do it. We can do it together. And this is not, as I said, only to give food or clothes or money to someone. This is about changing the culture of poverty. This is about changing the face of this planet. This is about changing the world to make the world a better place to live for everyone. All of us, we have a share of this planet. We have a share of this universe. We have a share of this world. Let's get together and make it happen. So, with this description, with this explanation, I'm asking you, are you in? Are you willing to help? If so, email us. I'm in at weriseasone.org. I'm in at weriseas1.org. Please email us. For any reason, if you have difficulty with this email, you can email me directly at dilan@dilandolati.com. dilan@dilandolati.com. Or you can have my personal email, dilanmd@gmail.com. dilanmd@gmail.com. You can take a screenshot or you can take a picture, keep this and go to the website and let us know how you can help. We can do it. We are people. We have power. We do not wait for politicians. We do not wait for government. We do not wait for United Nations, which I call it United Government, because that's not a United Nation. Not because they don't work, they do. I appreciate some work they do. However, not every government is the true leader or true representation of a nation. So let's get together as people, as individuals, as groups, as organizations, and make this happen. There are so many non-profit organizations, there are so many charity organizations in the world. They're helping. It's good. I encourage them to continue. However, this program is not a regular charity organization. This is based on your help, your true help. This is based on your belief. This is based on what you truly want for the world. What you truly want to change the face of this planet, to make this world a better place to live. So please, help us. Help us. Let's make this happen. Let's make this dream come true. Now is the dream. The first 5 months of this program now is the last week of April, and the first phase of this is just fundraising. We ask every single person we know. We send invitation through email, through social media, through direct letter, direct mail, postcards, everything we can to invite people to join us. And please, you share this idea, you share this video, you share this website with your family, friends, neighbors, co-workers, acquaintances, and on your social media. Let's spread the word. So this is how it works. The first phase of this program, the first 5 months until end of September 2017, this is the fundraising phase. And during this phase, I will search for people who are willing to be coached for those community. So we hire people from those areas. We cover two on the first practical phase, which starts October, and it's going to be 90 days from October to end of December 2017. We choose two communities to work with, one abroad, one in the States. The one abroad, it will be the orphanage in Nepal. And we choose a community here in Denver, Colorado, and as a pilot study to get more experience and start our program. And then this is how it works. We hire some coaches. So I personally coach them. Probably you know that I'm a coach. I coach people from frontline to the leaders, and one of my other program is just about leadership. I coach those people to teach them how to change the mindset of the people in poverty, how to reprogram their mind, how to rewire their brain. So first, we teach these people, and then we go to those communities and we feed them, we heal them, and we educate them through these coaches. I will be there also, but I cannot be everywhere. My companies in real estate and coaching and speaking donate 10% of the income to this program, which will be full-blown organization in October. And I devote my time, 20% or 25% of my time, actually it's going to be more, because it's a lot of things to put these pieces together to make this happen. So I teach those people, and I go there personally to those community to work with them and take these coaches to those community, and then after feeding and healing, we will get them in the program to reprogram their mind, and with the help of many volunteers and hiring people to give them the skill and to find their passion and give them the skill to do something about their life, to see what they really like, and then we give them the skill to go to work and or open a business or do something with their life, so they don't stay in poverty. They live a good life with dignity, and they make money, they earn money, they feel better, they feel good, and then they will help us to not only spread the word but also spread the action, spread the program worldwide. So my goal, which is your goal, our goal all together, is to reach out to 1 billion people by end of 2020 and eradicate the poverty in the world by 2030. Probably you've heard from World Bank that they say this is their wish also, but let's get together. Yes, they do work. There are a lot of organizations, there are a lot of programs in the world, they're helping, but honestly, it's not possible except if we change the mindset of those people to reprogram their mind and rewire their brain and change the culture of poverty. This is how we can eradicate the poverty. Otherwise, it's not possible. It's not only to giving some food and money and say, okay, we wish we eradicate the poverty. And by living on $3.10, and if someone live on $3.20, that person is not in the category of poverty. I don't believe in that. And this is just for statistic studies from those organizations. But my goal is to teach them how to earn money, at least by that time, $10 a day, so they can have a good life per their criteria in that situation, in that country, in that area they live. And well, it depends on the community where they live. So this is the just brief description of the program. We will have a lot of other things, and I'm pretty sure we will get a lot of suggestions, a lot of recommendation, a lot of thoughts and ideas from wonderful people like you, and we will improve this program day by day. So please help us to make this dream happen, to change the world. Thank you so much for watching, and please go ahead, visit the website, email us, and let us know how you can help. If you can be a member, if your business can be a member, we will do advertisement for you on our website and in the future in our magazine, and it goes locally in your area, and we will do advertisement, and so you can, based on the level of membership, you can put your coupon, your promotion and advertisement in those magazines, and we will help you to grow your business. And this is win-win situation for both Donnie and the donor. This is a win-win situation for the whole world. This is something that everybody in the world will benefit. So please, let's make it happen. Let's get all together and change the world for a better world and make it as a better place to live. Thank you so much for watching. Make it a great day.